So welcome everyone to the Eternity Developers and Researchers Call. This is week number 47. We are not that many people today, but I've got some written updates which I will read and transmit to you later. And today Andrea, who's leading the SDK development, requested to get started as there's a little hackathon going on in Berlin where they participate. And yeah, Andrea, please let us know from your side, and also from Daniela. I also see you from the LXD SDK side, and I guess also from the middleware. So give us a big update from that, please.
Okay, so hello. There are actually a lot of updates this day. I will start with the JavaScript SDK. We are going to merge today or the beginning of the next week a big updates in terms of communication, a way to communicate for the wallet to communicate with the application and with the SDK. For the Python SDK, we have successfully merged and released the high-level API interface that allows to natively in Python interact with contracts, and also some nice improvement in handling amounts in a human-readable format. Also, big update, we have finally a nice portal for documentation for the Python SDK with tutorials, how-tos, and we're gonna, of course, keeping updated, but it's already a big step in, I think, in the good direction. On the Go SDK side, also, we have now released a new version that supports memory accounts. And the big work that is going to get started now in the Go SDK is about making the Go compiled as a C library, so it can be actually imported in other languages and be used in another environment where we don't have native SDKs available. For the middleware, I don't have any particular update. If the work is always continues in performance and improvement, and I know that there are some issues related to WebSocket that have been currently worked on. I will also bring you a couple of updates from the expansion team. For the expansion, we have that the expansion number 2, 4, and 5 that you can find on the expansion repository have been withdrawn because they present a lot of details that are difficult to solve in a public forum, and there is very little engagement from third parties. So we decided together to withdraw them and to start with an implementation first, and then after we have a little bit of more practical experience with the issue to formalize a standard. And last but not least, we have prepared now a repository that is called Awesome Eternity, and it uses the Awesome format, Awesome list format that is popular on GitHub, that collects a lot of, try to collect as much as possible resources that are interesting in the Eternity ecosystem. We did that because, as you can see today, we are with Daniela, so with the LXD team, the Go, JavaScript, and Python team, doing an internal hackathon that is focused on the SDK and using the SDK. So we have managed to make a lot of internal testing and sample application. For example, one sample application that we are very excited about is a paper frame state channel application. And all these examples and tutorial and application, we are going, of course, to publish them in the forum, but then we thought this would be better to collect them all together in a place where they are always accessible. And of course, we hope that we can move then, transfer this repository to the Eternity and the Eternity umbrella, and that other people will put their own work and will integrate the information that are missing from there, because of course we don't know about every single project. So this was a big update from, I think, all our side. And yes, and that's all. I don't know if you want to add something, Daniela?
For Elixir SDK, this week we were working on adjusting the gas price calculation for FaithVM contract cost, adjusting of the contract core result handling as well. We added new example test for contract which are deployed by using FaithVM. And this is from my side, from Elixir SDK.
Cool, great, thanks a lot. I mean, it was quite hard for me to follow all those things, as it's really a lot. But I guess you will also put them together in the forum post, like in the written update that will follow later. One little question to the Python SDK, Andrea. The documentation, is this now also accessible that you mentioned via the GitHub repository, or where do we find where's the best entry point?
Yes, so the documentation it follows the standard way of documenting Python projects. There is read the docs, but you will find the link on the home page of the repository.
Perfect. Thank you very much, both of you, and please list all the links to the products and things you've mentioned just now. Thank you. So yeah, let's go to the next person. And yeah, you are happy to leave. You can listen to this recording later and proceed with the hackathon. Yeah, and we're looking forward to see your results. Next in line, I would talk with Martin about the progress around the token migration. I've seen there's still a lot of activity in the forum, and of course, from the side of AE projects. Yeah, please give me your update.
Hello, guys. So, yeah, our main focus and main activities around the token migration. We try to support communities if they have any questions or issues while migrating their tokens. We have actually made some cosmetic improvements there, removed one unnecessary message, and we have found that in some migrations we show actually wrong balance, but after the migration is successful, the right balance is transferred to the user's wallet. So none of the tokens are lost, only the message was somehow wrong. So these things are deployed and everything is okay. So now I think that all of the users can migrate safely. We don't have any error messages from this week and issues from the users reported, which really makes me happy.
Me too.
Yeah, so also we managed to work on the AE project, so we are almost finished with the new changes of the plugin for the JetBrains products, for the Sophia highlighting tool and auto completion. Also, we have worked on an issue of AE project when you are deploying on testnet or mainnet and you don't specify a compiler. There was a regression that was using the local compiler. Now this is fixed and it's in a pull request. Also, we have made some changes in the new command, which is project env, which for now is combining the node and the compiler together. In the future, there will be also some other features in this command. We have also tested the tool on Windows because we have some issues before, and we want to fix them before releasing the new version of IE project. So everything is working fine now on Windows. And also we managed to fix one issue that we have with our Eternity node syncing in the Amazon cloud. So we have upgraded to the latest version of the node, and we have managed to actually pass the block that was problematic. So this fix was provided by the core team.
Great to hear.
And we have also released new version, next release, pre-release of the AE project. So the latest and release will be available next week for the two. It will have some breaking changes, but we will describe them and how the people can work easily with the new version. So this is from our side for this week.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Martin. Yeah, it's good to hear, especially also with the token migration. I'm happy that we still on the good go here. The next update I would like to give is from Sergey. He cannot join. He has to pick up his junior from school, so he couldn't join this call today. There are no big updates from the core dev team, mainly bug fixes and working on garbage collection. And later on, I also have two updates from Carol and Uri, who sent them to me in a written form. So from Carol's side, he has worked on the AENS naming system update function for Sophia, and this got merged. And he's working on GC stabilization. There was a lot of work in hunting the actual bug, but I think he found it now and is working on a fix. And on Uri's side, he found an issue with peer pools. That we keep info about too many peers, especially those that are not online, and connecting to them times out and slows the sync a lot. So he's working on a fix there, and he's continued to work on block transaction validation, also to speed up the sync process. I see both Dimitar and Ulf here, so maybe this time Ulf can give an update from the state channel side.
Well, actually, I thought Dimitar could, since I've been away for most of the week on a conference.
Then give us your update quickly from the conference and your presentation.
Okay, yeah, Trifork really throws great conferences. It was an awesome conference in general, and the Bella Center in Copenhagen is an outstanding conference venue. There was a lot of focus on quantum computing, if you would believe it, and AI. I think mainly sort of backtracking a little bit on AI, saying, yeah, it's the state of the art of current computing, but it's not intelligence, essentially, to quote Steve Wozniak. And also that quantum computing, yeah, it's here. You can use it today in the cloud. You just have to study quantum physics first. And there are extremely few problems that it actually is good for currently. So long path or road ahead before it becomes more broadly usable. Otherwise, what I thought was interesting was a very good presentation about WebAssembly from a Mozilla guy. I think these are coming up on YouTube reasonably soon. He hadn't heard about the Lumen project porting or getting Erlang to run on WebAssembly, though. So, and also there was a lot of focus on Kotlin, and an interesting talk on Kotlin native, using Kotlin to run natively on both, well, actually on Android, iPhone, and Linux. And it was messy, but it's getting there. It was quite interesting, so I guess I'm going to have to learn Kotlin now.
Very nice. Is your talk also recorded, and will it be shared on YouTube?
What was that? I didn't hear. My connection is glitching.
Is your talk also recorded, and will this be shared on YouTube?
It was recorded and it will be on YouTube eventually. They're putting up talks pretty quickly. There are already like 5 or 6 talks up on YouTube from the conference, which ended day before yesterday.
Cool,
So.
Great. Yeah, thanks a lot for this update, Ulf, and also cool that you visit and share that with us. I think it's interesting for other people too. And yeah, I will definitely check out your talk. So let's jump to Dimitar and get our update from the state channel side. I know you had a power outage yesterday, Dimitar, so lots of focus. How did the state channel progress?
Well, as Ulf said, this week he had been presenting Eternity blockchain approach to the Go to Copenhagen conference. So, and Tino had been working on database improvements. So basically, it was Alexander and me. And Alexander had been playing with Thomas Arts wrote tic-tac-toe contract, Sophia contract to be deployed in channel, but this is still not ready to show to the public. I'm fixing one small bug that Alexander found that turned out to be the mother of all bugs. Basically, the FSM has, well, it's not really a bug, but a known, not implemented yet scenario where one participant posts some competing transactions and an on-chain transaction from the FSM itself. And this is shaping up into a big, nice PR that solves quite a lot of those. And yes, so nothing much to report. Small improvement, but important one. Basically, this is not a security issue, as if somebody does that, basically that would be a malicious actor that shoots themselves in the foot. So nobody is in any danger, but it's good to be handled anyway.
Cool. Thank you very much, Dimitar, for that update, and also for Tino's update, basically. Next one in line here, I'd go with you, Andy, as the camera is running on my side, and let's talk about the wallet. Yeah, please give your update from AirGap side.
Okay, so this week we've been, as mentioned last week, mostly focused on the release, preparing the release. It's almost ready. We were hoping for a push to test flight this weekend. Internally, feature-wise, we didn't change a lot. We made some small chart improvements, and also we changed from the old Explorer to the Eternal IO block explorer for Eternity. And probably the biggest change was we added backwards compatibility from our new serializer format to the old one. We basically decided to do that because we have a couple of apps. So for example, the base app that rely on our sync protocol, and we didn't want to break this. So we basically make a silent upgrade in the background that only uses the new protocol for the new features. And that will allow us to, for users who cannot update the vault because it's on an offline device, they don't have to immediately. So gives them a little bit more time. Yeah, that's it.
That's really good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for taking care about those things. And I think this will get more and more important every day now, that we don't break stuff. Yeah, thank you for this update. I will also, because you managed, you mentioned the base app, but I saw that I also got a written update from Pivo and Milen. I think the main update from their side was that they have intensively worked on the standard for fungible tokens, the AEX9, and also there's already a simple token sale example application to showcase that is using the AEX9, and it is also integrated into the browser extension. Let's call it the experimental browser extension, the wallet. Then Pivo put lots of effort on GitHub into the documentation of the governance app, also for people to independently verify the results and not only trust the front end. And on the wallet side, there was also some updates in the UI. They have worked on the new token registry with Fate, as they wanted to have it on running with Sophia on Fate. And they have also started a way more detailed documentation, what I asked them for. So this is the site from the wallet team and Pivo. And I also see Stoyan here in the call. So as we are talking about wallets and standards and tokens, I'd give you the next turn, Stoyan, to talk about the beta.
Cool. Hi. So we've made a number of updates which we're going to release early next week. Some of them are for a name when there's already an option for the name that you're typing in. It detects that and it gives you, basically the app's now aware that that's happening and gives you the price, the current highest bid, and then you're bidding higher than that. And then we have a bug in sending to name in the desktop version where sometimes you will type in the name and it would resolve correctly, and sometimes you would type it and it would say that there's no such name. So that's fixed. And we have the deep links prototype, which we've shared now internally, and we're looking to get feedback. I'm quite excited about that because it's another way for applications and wallets to interact, which is maybe more resilient when app stores say that they don't like crypto. So we're excited to prototype that and release it eventually. We added a screen in the settings, which is sort of developer targeted, that tells you which version of the middleware and what's the highest block in the middleware and the highest block in the node that you're running, and some other useful stuff. It's basically for developers to be, if they're encountering some sort of issue, to kind of have another, it's a bit like a console log that tells you like what's going on underneath the hood.
Really cool. Really cool.
So that was a request in the forum, and basically us, an example of us taking feedback from the community, incorporating it. Yes. We also moved along the metadata expansion. It's this one kind of hanging question, which I made the executive call on for now, and it's now part of the repository and it's ready to be reviewed, meaning it's ready to be moved from draft to whatever is the next stage. And also we're adding on Monday, we've completed the work on, or the first version of the work where you can sign a smart contract with the base app, which is particularly relevant to the governance or the signaling app, because people with lots of tokens should be able to do that. We're ready to submit this to the Ledger repository on Monday. Then it's on them to figure out how long it takes to merge it into the master branch. And then the last thing is, we noticed that sometimes there's discrepancy between the information that the middleware has and what we're getting from the node. And so that's the kind of thing that could be, it could throw the user off, because basically their transaction history may not match what they've done. And so we're going to now intelligently detect that and throw a message to the user that some things are not synced yet, so that they don't worry. Only problem with that is that it's one of those things where it's really difficult to tell the user, because a user shouldn't have to know what a middleware is. So I have to, and the label is only one. It's like it's like one line that's like as wide as your phone. So I have to figure out some really succinct way of, making it clear that something out of sync without making it too technical. But it should help, because there's some situations where this syncing thing is it's quite confusing. For example, if you just made a transaction, you don't see a transaction history list. And we have a bunch of small fixes. We'll make a release probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. You'll be able to look at the release log and the tag commits to see what everything that got done.
Thank you, Stoyan. Thank you. Yeah, it's unbelievable also UX challenge that you guys have every day. I'm really looking forward to the steep linking, reverse iframe, interacting with applications. Hopefully Ledger will merge it. I mean, there are so many open topics on your side. So thanks a lot for all those efforts. And yeah, good to see it progressing. Next one here, and I think the last one from today's call is Nikita. Nikita, I see your camera up and running, so you're off to go. How has your week been?
Hey, there was lots of managing stuff to be done this week, actually. Yeah, I don't know where to start. There were a couple of features I pushed for because of occasions where we found out that they were not really ideal yet. So first of all, the Binance guys were so surprised because of all the people dumping AE, and they were not able to verify where they were actually coming from, because we have no transaction history for AE that you receive from a contract. And this is of course relevant right now because so many people are getting AE from the migration contract. And yeah, I used this as a chance to push again for a solution that would provide information to the middleware about these type of transfers, because we have no indicator for that so far. I think I'll find some time to ask Hans and Ulf to squeeze in something that might help. John already looked into the source code and considered maybe hacking something in there on his own, but I thought we just go the cleaner way maybe, but we have not agreed upon the best solution for this. Then, since I introduced the ability in the Fire editor to interact with existing contracts, just as in the way like the contracts you just deployed, I found out that there was no good code verification. So basically you could just enter some arbitrary address and it would basically assume that under this contract address there would be really this code which you are just using in the IDE. And then we kind of found out, yeah, because of fate and stuff, it's not that easily possible to actually verify code at all. And one of the Ulfs, I think, thankfully stepped in and even provided an API endpoint for that. So NAS is waiting for it to be pushed on Docker Hub, so it's available and to the public, so we can, I can implement this contract verification. Of course, also the middleware is going to need it. We had intense discussions with basically many projects about one expansion proposal, about the wallet and how we're gonna agree upon things in the future and blah blah. And I had the need to push a little bit for progress over bureaucracy, so we can finally have the wallet working in the browser. And then there was a last but not least, a highly requested feature by, I think, Pivo and others also in the forum, for the Fire editor to make it finally also support like multiple contracts in tabs and also save them locally on your drive, so you can continue working what you left off with the last time you've been doing some stuff. I don't know, can you see my screen? I'm sharing it
Not
right
yet.
now. Give it a shot. Is it sharing it? Firefox, please.
Yes.
It's sharing it? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this is the unreleased version of it. I'm gonna put out this update after polishing also the design and UI a little bit. So basically you have your menu here and you can have like multiple contracts and they are all here, can interact with each other. The thing is, again, as always, cross-browser support. I discovered 2 bugs in Chrome, which I also reported to them. So basically, building applications to run in a browser that were actually intended to run as local software puts browsers to the limits still to this day, finally. But as I said, like everything is here in this tab right now, and it even works with the social contract sharing feature, and you can deploy basically all of your contracts simultaneously And as Robert always stated, complicated is easy, but making it simple was damn hard again. But anyways, this feature will be available also in the weekend now, and then you can just reload your site, and all your stuff will basically be here, and yeah, you can continue working where you left off.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, wonderful update and really interesting. Thank you for this work. And yeah, I also followed the discussions in AEX and in the Cardiff room, but this is normal, and I think it's good that you mention them and report them here. So yeah, this is it from my side. If anyone wants to add, now is the right time, but I guess everybody has spoken. And we will, of course, share this video again on YouTube and also link to the different repositories and people. And please remember to make also your written updates, so every 14 days in the forum, and link to the products and things you mentioned here during the call. So thank you very much, and I wish you a good day, rest of the day, and a great weekend. And I'm looking forward to speak to all of you next week on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Emin, reach out to
Bye.
Falk. You
I did.
missed an
I did.
appointment with him.
No, I didn't. I
He
did.
said you were not there when you had the slot in your calendar. Anyways.